Okay, welcome everyone. Normally, I would say to the five sticking points of, well, I'm not going to say that because we're on to something new today. Welcome everyone to Real Midlife Strategies in Action. So, if you've been with us for the 5 live webinars that we had leading up to this, that ended 2 weeks ago, you were used to us talking about the freedom from sticking points, which was really the backdrop. It was an education. It was a very necessary foundation for what we're going to show you today. And who am I, you may wonder? I am Wes Ehnert, a career coach. And who is this lovely person who is joining me and being my co-host? It is the brilliant, the eminent Joy Levin. Hello, Joy.
Hi, that was a very, very nice introduction.
Thank you. We have it recorded. All this is being recorded. It's also coming to you live on Facebook and LinkedIn. So let me give Joy's bio. Joy is a retirement coach. She works particularly with Gen X professionals to take control of their retirement transition, using structured tools to design what comes next with intention and confidence. And I said, I'm a career coach doing my thing in career land. So today we're going to move from all that foundational learning to what we have for you in terms of a program to get you from just the learning about what the obstacles are at this midlife moment to how do you deal with them and how do you deal with them in an ongoing way. And do you get help and how would that all work and what's possible? So we're going to show you today. I'm going to hit the next slide, Joy.
Sounds good.
Just to say, there are those two lovely presenters right there. So you can find out more right there about our companies, Gen X Encore, Gen X Exec Encore, sorry, and Vertical Path Coaching and Consulting. So those are other ways to know us is through our individual companies, but this is a joint operation. And now I'm going to move forward and hand it off to my wonderful partner so she can take you through the next steps.
Thank you. So I know some of you have joined us for our series, others are new, but over time we've really been exploring a set of patterns that often show up in this phase of life. So for those who have been with us, you'll recognize some of these ideas. For those who are new, this will give you a quick sense of the landscape. So next. So what we've noticed is that people aren't usually dealing with just one shift at a time when they get to this stage. Several things tend to change at once. It's just part of the nature of when we're moving into midlife and facing different things. So this affects this shift and these several things changing at once affects how decisions tend to feel in midlife. Next. Pardon me?
I didn't think it moved, but it moved. May I say something really quick, Joy, because I forgot it?
Yeah.
And in case anybody's wondering about questions, the chat is open. It's live. You can pop in and ask us questions and make comments in the chat. Feel free to do that right along the way. Also, we are leaving more time than we usually do for questions. We're going to go to 1:45, so there's an extra 15 at the back for questions. And back to you, Joy.
Great. So I don't think that the slide advanced.
Oh, in that case,
there you
how
go.
about that one?
There you go. All right. So on the surface, these conversations have been about value and identity and structure and connection and direction. But underneath all of that, there's a deeper pattern because when those things start to move, the way people make decisions starts to feel less steady. And that's where many people begin to feel stuck. So next. So this series that we just went through really wasn't about problems. It was about what decisions or what changes the way that decisions get made in real life, in midlife. Next. So, first one of the shifts we talked about is how experience gets interpreted. So next. People reach this stage with decades of knowledge and judgment and a track record. Next. But the way that experience lands in the workplace or even in how people see themselves can really start to feel different. Next. At the same time, many people begin reconnecting with what actually matters to them, their values. because those values may have been in the background and they now start to play a bigger role in how people tend to think about what's next. And next. So another pattern we've explored is identity. Next. So not losing your identity, but noticing it shift and change. Next. Because where your energy goes, what still pulls you, what feels like it fits now and what doesn't, those are changing. Next. And for many people, that is one of the earliest signals that really something is changing that they need to pay attention to.
Joy, are we on career cliff effect?
We are now. Yeah, no problem.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's all right. And because we've also talked about what happens when structure changes. Sometimes it's a layoff, sometimes it's a voluntary step back, sometimes it's a pivot. But when structure shifts, it feels like you're falling off a cliff sometimes. The number of decisions increases, and the stabilizers, that grounding that we've felt, that we've relied upon for years, can really suddenly start to feel less solid. Next. So another piece that often goes unnoticed is connection, because so much of our social life is built into work and routine. Next. So when those structures change, people can feel like their social ecosystem starts like thinning out. And sometimes it's gradually and sometimes it's all at once. And that can also feel, well, it can affect how we feel our decisions get supported and how, you know, kind of how we feel like people are with us or supporting us along this journey. So next. And then there's direction, right? Not a lack of options, not a lack of ability, but there's a feeling of I'm just not sure how to decide anymore, because it's a very common experience when old reference points stop lining up the way they used to. In that session, we gave you an example where we said, you know, for a long time, your reference points were lining up. You know, am I advancing in my career? Am I advancing in salary? What are my peers doing? It all created these kind of guardrails. And all of that starts to fall away in midlife. Next. So when these shifts overlap, our values, our identity, our structure, our connection, they change the environment people are making decisions inside of. And when that environment changes, decisions start to feel different too. Next. I think this is my favorite slide. So this is an important distinction, because what we're seeing is not a motivation problem, and it's not a problem, or it's not a deficit in terms of your capabilities. It's not. Next. It's that the ground underneath people is shifting in multiple places at once, and that will naturally affect how steady decisions are going to feel. Next. So the question becomes, what actually helps when you're in that kind of environment? Not quick answers, you know, we don't want pressure to decide, but something that's going to help you work through what is changing. So next, so that's what led us to think more seriously about what people need once they recognize these patterns. Not really another one-time conversation, but something steadier. And so what we're building is a place where people can return to as things shift. So it's not a course, it's not a one-time workshop, but it's going to be an ongoing structure that supports people as they sort through decisions, real life decisions in real time. Next. So by participating in this process, you know, it feels like you're all over the place, but because you'll be in this process, people can start to feel more grounded. They start to sort out what's fixed and what isn't, what can change. Next. They notice where they still feel that pull, where that energy still is. Next. They begin to see their options differently. Next. And when the time is right, they take steps that just feel more intentional. Next slide. So one thing we want to be very clear about here, this isn't about pushing decisions to happen faster. You know, some people make a move in a few months and others take longer, and both are completely normal. The goal is, in what we've built, is to support the thinking and the movement that leads somewhere. Next. So what we found in our work is that once questions settle, one question settles, another one tends to appear. And that's just the nature of this phase. And so people stay, in certain situations because something, or they stay not because something didn't work. Next. But because their life keeps moving. Next. And new questions are going to just keep coming up over and over again. Next. So we wanted to design something so people can enter at any point where they don't have to catch the beginning of anything. So wherever you are becomes the place you start. Next. And we would also trust you to know when you've reached a point where you're ready to leave, when you're ready to go, or when you're ready to let go. Next. So the point at which people enter this structure would be based on their real lives and the decisions they would be facing. Next. So some are navigating career changes. Some arrive involuntarily because of a layoff. Next. And some are just stepping back from full-time work. But some just know something is shifting and they want a place to think through it. Next. So regardless of the reason, we've built something where you'll find a community of support while you work through what's next for you at this stage of life. Next. And that's where I'm going to now turn it over to Wes, because he's does an excellent job, I think, of explaining this next part.
Thank you. I also want to say how efficient you were in that time. You got that all done in less than 12 minutes. I think you got it done in 10 minutes. So fantastic. We're on time. We're not usually on time.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Until I start talking. Let's see. But I do want to reiterate for a second. So what Joy just did, we had spent, if you were with us along the way, if you weren't, don't worry. If you join the program, you will not miss a thing. And in fact, if you have seen it all the sessions we did, you're going to get to review those again and again as needed, because they're not really simple. They're simple in concept, but it did take us 2.5 hours to bring the 5 sessions to you, half an hour each. And with that, they were jam-packed. So there are going to be places you're going to be able to revisit, and I will say them. We didn't put them on the screen, and it's a bit of a lengthy title for me to have remembered up front, but it's the 5 hidden sticking points blocking midlife, career, and life transitions. So that place is a place that we're going to keep revisiting, and this program will keep revisiting it. But it's not the goal of the program. The program is to navigate through it and to build real strategies in this midlife point that not only help you, as Joy had pointed out, to make decisions in what can be a very difficult landscape to make decisions in at this point in life, but also to take action. And not only to take action, but to have a plan to move forward with that action towards tangible goals. So that's where we are now, is the program we're about to lay out to you is the ability to join up with us and basically have partners through your specific program to navigate through these midlife points, the sticking points, be able to make clear decisions, assess them and make clear decisions, and be able to move forward towards goals. So that begins with this understanding. Essentially, this is what I just said, that foundational learning. You at the center, that decision maker and action taker, I could have put that on there too. The decision maker and action taker is going to revisit these areas throughout the value paradox, the identity unraveling, maybe more than one of these at a time. So we're not losing those. We're taking them forward with us. And we just wanted to design a program, as really Joy's already set up, that would, one, help you to navigate ambiguity, because there's plenty of that in those 5 sticking points. 2, we want to be a guide there for you to making those decisions. And like I said, moving forward with plans of action, which means moving forward intentionally and with purpose. We want to work with you to design and execute a strategic plan of action that's going to be your strategic plan of action. Facilitate goal setting, right? Because it's one thing to sort of get an idea of what you need to do and then say, okay, I'm going to charge out there and do it. But we all know without tangible goals and progress measurement and correcting along the way, things have a habit of not happening. Making that plan, goal achievement, attainable. It requires real life plans and plans that you're not alone in achieving in order to really, for us to say that we can help you with goal achievement. Providing a safe environment. This is so key. We almost left this off the screen. I had left this off the slide, and Joy thankfully put it back on, or made sure we had it, because we both pride ourselves on the safe environment we create, and that creates a space for honest inquiry, for you to be straight with yourself, straight with your coach, and to be able to get to the things that matter so that your decision making is clear, because it actually contains everything that you really care about. And that doesn't happen unless you have a safe environment. What's the activation strategy for this? There are three main pillars that we want to bring you, because let's just stop for a moment to think, well, listen, if we gave you the 5 sticking points and all that education on it, if you joined us, it's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. If you didn't join us, you could go search it and find it. So you could teach yourself and you could walk yourself through the journey. Here's what we're saying today. Do that if you think you can be successful with that. Our experience is having a coach in the picture to help you gain and foster greater self-awareness. Have someone who's impartial in your picture, that isn't family or friends or people who might have a slant, but we can bring you that impartial and objective feedback, helping you to gain objectivity. The second component is practice. We can all do things once, try them twice, but practice, as they all say, makes perfect, really is about creating habits. So these 5 sticking points are going to be with us forever. Navigating ambiguity is going to be with us forever, and making decisions in our mid to later life is going to be with us for the duration. So we want to create new habits, that come through this focused activity. And that's what the program is. We're going to give you that focused activity with the backup of the coaching, immerse you in that repetition and those exercises and so forth. And then we want to add another element. Of course, you're going to have discussion with your coach, but we want to add the group element, which we've mentioned along the way. There's something to be gained from being in this with peers. And some alone with peers. So we want to set up groups that would be without Joy and myself, and groups that would be with us. So there's going to be a group component to this. How does it work? Let's answer that question. Well, it includes that personal guide, motivator, and consultant. That's Joy and myself. And you do get to choose who you want to work with. Unless we're working in a group, you get to choose your coach, because, as you know, Joy focuses mainly on retirement. I focus mainly on career, although we have crossover. Maybe you want to pick the coach that's closer to your domain. We're going to give you that structure that you may not otherwise either put for yourself or be able to contain and hold. We'll make sure that that holds. We're going to help you build a personalized plan. That's important too, because although we'll have group work and a lot of what we're doing may be similar, your path is your path. And there's going to be nothing like it. And there's nothing like having the coach and you work this out together to be bespoke for your particular scenario in your life. Establishing meaningful KPIs and OKRs. Obviously, these are just simple ways that one makes sure they're on track, but we're going to help you establish those. And when I say meaningful, if we don't really think about what's meaningful in terms of measuring progress, we measure the wrong things or irrelevant things, or the whole point is to have a professional help you put those in place. Measures your progress and holds you accountable to action. That may be the most important part of it all, that you'll have an accountability partner. It gives you objective, impartial, constructive feedback. Just covered that. But that's to course correct. You need that. So that is included there, and then provides a partner for your journey. I like this one as a standalone because some of what I've experienced, maybe Joy can talk about this as well. Some of the most important components, or let's say pieces of feedback I get from my clients, is it's just great to have a partner in the journey, because it's not necessarily the things that we may cover aren't necessarily things that they feel they can do effectively with other people in their life. It kind of requires a separated, impartial professional. And that's a journey you're on. We want to be on that journey with you in an ongoing way. What is the program? Here we go. It's an online mobile-based platform. So that means you could do it on your computer and you can do it on your phone. It's subscription-based, so that you don't have to buy into the whole thing. You can go, the way it's going to work is you can go 1 month at a time. So you'll see that coming up. But it allows you to get in, experience it, get something from it, and decide basically month to month whether you want to continue. You can cancel anytime, no long-term commitments. It's all virtual, so you don't have to worry about scheduling in terms of I've got to be, across town or wherever you got to be. We can do everything here virtual. You're the one who's going to set your schedule. You'll have all this latitude within our program to decide when meetings happen and when assignments get done and how you progress forward time-wise. And like I said, you choose your coach and the focus of your program because it's made for you. It's bespoke. So now the bottom line. Everybody loves the bottom line, Joy. I just want you to know that. Everybody likes,
It's important.
and they know you're going to wait till later to put the bottom line down. So I put it on top, at least from this one.
Very clever.
So people can say, what does it cost? Okay, it costs $479 per month, $479 per month. And how much will you invest in this program? We can't really say for sure because while I don't think either of us thinks you'll be with us for a month, you could be. You could come in and tackle a particular domain in your decision-making area and find that you're well equipped to move forward, and maybe you're in a month and you're out. Most likely, I think people will probably get more out of this program and be with it for months, but whether that's 2 or 3 or 6 or ongoing, it's up to you, and that's kind of the point. We can't really know how long you'll need us for, but as long as you do need us for, we'll be there. We are going to get per month, as you invest this $479, you get 2 hours of one-on-one personalized coaching with your coach, and you get to use that whatever way you want to use it. So increments of 15, 30, 45, however that works for you. And we do find from both of our work with clients that even between us, we do it different ways. And so we do want to give you that ability to decide, how long do I need at a time with my coach? Do I need one big 2-hour session? You could do that. Or maybe I need a bunch of 15-minute sessions. Unlimited phone, text, and email support. This has been an important part of both of our coaching. I know for me in particular, it's very important for me to give my clients this ongoing support where you'll have access to us in an ongoing way by phone, text, and email, and we'll respond within 12 to 24 business hours. So you'll have that support on top of your meetings. Daily to weekly interaction on the platform. I put that way because you're going to control that. You're going to control just how frequently you are interacting with your program. If accountability for you means let's be connecting daily in some way, then I'm engaged daily, you'll be able to do that. If it's weekly, you'll be able to do that. So you're going to decide on that cadence. Interactive exercises and communication to keep you engaged and on track. So that's really speaking to the bullet before it. We want this to be interactive, and it is. And we want there to be open communication whenever you want it, and essentially what you're going to have. Progress measurement and visibility just means we're going to have ways that are built into the program, not just through us talking with you, but ways that you can visually see your progress as you're moving forward. So that's all what the program contains. And I think, one more, personalized strategic plan, which I mentioned already. We're not just going to slap, everybody up, set everybody up with the same program. It really is something that is customized to you. And with that, I think that takes us to the last part. If there are questions, before we actually have a question slide, and I can return to that slide if that's the case. But I'm going to give it to you, Joy, to get us through the next couple slides and introduce the question component.
Sure. Because at the end of the day, this really is not about finding one perfect answer. It's really about having a place to work things through so you don't stay stuck longer than you need to. You're constantly experimenting with support and taking action in a very, kind of intentional way. And so you'll really start to see some movement. And, like I said earlier, it's not about, motivation or competency or anything like that. It's just that things have changed a lot. And so you'll see, throughout this presentation, we've used this kind of harbor and boating imagery, and that was intentional because when you think about it, we're going through this rocky time. And so we are going to be this safe harbor for you, and you're not alone. There are going to be other boats along for the ride, but you'll have this safe place to kind of work things through so you're able to move forward in a way that is purposeful and relevant for you. So I think now we can move on to Q&A. I know I've seen a couple of questions come up. One question is, how long should I expect to be doing this? And as Wes had mentioned, it's really hard to say because everybody is different. The what when I typically work with clients, we go through normally 6 to 8 sessions. So if you're getting, 2 sessions a month here, you might expect 3 to 4 months. But a lot of people stay short. They come in with a very different framework, a different kind of decision, so they move faster. But the point of this is that you have a lot of control over how you're moving, how quickly, and what it is you're working on, how the decisions you're trying to make that will kind of make your life, what you want it to be in this next chapter. We're going to be here. So you may decide, what, I've made a decision, I'm ready to move on. Thank you very much. And then in 6 months, you may feel like, wait a minute, now I'm not sure I have another decision, because that's how this works. That's how life works. And so come back in at any time. So I hope that answers that question. And another question is, what can I expect from the platform? It's it's actually very comprehensive. So you'll see, when you come into the platform, there are things for you to do. There are ways for you to get started. We've worked in, like Wes had mentioned, the one-on-one coaching. There are group sessions. And so it walks you through it in a very organized way. And that, I think, also helps to bring some order to the chaos of what life is like right now. So I hope that answers those questions.
Yeah,
Wes, do you have any?
yeah, I
Yeah.
do because I wrote in the chat, we're open to questions without the S. I meant questions, just so everyone knows. There are a couple that I've been asked, and so I want to address them. And another one came up as you were talking, and one of them is, it's just a simple one of, what if I join? Right? I decide, okay, I'll sign up, and we need to get to how you sign up. So let me cover that first. How you're going to sign up is, we're going to send you an email that comes after this session, which is just going to point you to signing up. You just come to a sign up page and you sign up with a credit card or with PayPal, and you can move forward. So that answers some question about how I can pay for it, how I can sign up. What if you sign up and as you're moving through in that first month, you don't feel it's for you, it's just not what you thought it was, or whatever the case may be? There's room to have a discussion with us. It depends how far you in. We would either work to prorate the amount you've paid. If you've been in for 2 weeks, so you got half a month, maybe we prorate it. If it's not a significant time, most likely we would move to a full refund for your first payment because you really didn't use it. So there is the opportunity to not buy in for an entire month, but that's typically what you're doing when you're paying your first month. Another question that came up for me when you said what you said, Joy, was, it just made me think of that. The program is designed so that you get to choose who your coach is. And because Joy and I have found as we were building the program how differently we look at a lot of things, like the exercises, even the ones we showed in the 5 sticking points training, they were different. There were our own styles. And so as we're going to be using things from each other and from the 5 sticking points models, but they're going to be things that Joy does that are very specific to Joy's methods and specific to retirement. My methods will be specific to ways that I work with clients and in a career domain. So that's also part of customization. And the question is, what happens if you're really not sure who to sign up for? Like maybe you are thinking retirement, maybe career move, you're not really sure. What I'm going to suggest there is a consultation. And so the way we would begin with that is have maybe a 15-minute consultation with either or both of us to try to make that decision easier as to which coach is right for you. Because we are different in our styles and in our methods. The program will feel cohesive once you're in it, but you'll be with one coach. So at the beginning, if that's trouble, we'll make that a little easier for you with a free consultation.
Yep.
So I had another one, but I'm blanking.
That's
And
okay.
nothing in the chat to cover that we haven't covered. So
Yeah, no, there is one question. So what if I don't know if I am, what if I'm at a point where, I've been lost a job, I don't know if I want to look for another job, or I don't know what I want to do. And so is this program right for me? And I would say it is. It's exactly right for you because that's a big decision to make. And so, Wes and I will both help you work through that decision. You will have other people, probably some of them going through the same question. And so it's something to work through in a way that, you can feel more confident in eventually what you decide to do. So,
Yeah. Kind of funny that the program itself is really three components. It's learning. You're talking about decision making at a time in your life where it's just particularly difficult because of the time in your life and where we are, our generation, Generation X, in this environment in 2026. Like the whole combination, it just makes for difficult decision making. And so the 3 points of the program are understanding what's going on with decision making. That's the 5 sticking points. Then it's actually, how am I going to make a decision? So it's acting, right? Moving forward. How am I going to actually make decisions? And then, of course, it's seeing that decision through with a plan. Those are the 3 things that we're putting before you to help you move forward in your life. And of course, we're giving you a decision to make. So we can help you make your decision. That's really what we're about. But it does end with a decision here because whatever you've learned to this point, the ultimate question is, can you take it and run with it on your own? Or do you need our help and the help of the program? We highly suggest it. Just being coaches, we know that's usually the difference between success and not success is, some of us are very self-sufficient. I'm like that. I want to do everything on my own. But there are some things that just go better with the help of a professional person who's trained to be that in your situation. So I strongly recommend the program. Of course I do. But we are people who have also taken our own programs. Like, in other words, we're coaches because this is how we run our own lives, by getting assistance and help from professionals who know the things that we don't. So that's it. I'm off my soapbox from there. It's 1:30.
sounds good.
It's
Yeah.
1:30.
Why don't you go to the last slide, Wes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
Wrap
thought it
up.
was the last slide.
No,
It
there's
thinks
one
it's the last
more.
slide. Oh, I'm so
So we
sorry.
want to thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you were able to get something out of both the series of 5 sticking points as well as today. We've left our contact information on this slide. I have a QR code for my calendar link that you can set up a time just to talk. If you are unsure, feel free to reach out and ask questions. If there's something you didn't get to ask today or something that occurs to you later, feel free to reach out. You will get, there will be, this is being recorded, so you'll get a copy of this recording. And so you'll have our contact information. Feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. Well, I've enjoyed, this is session number 6, technically. So Joy and I have been quite a journey here. And it's only just the beginning for us, which is really exciting for me because I've really enjoyed working with Joy, putting this all together, seeing the value that we actually learned as we went along. It was a much bigger endeavor than we thought it was. We had more to offer than we thought we did, actually, and more collectively from each other. It was exponential. As we kept adding parts, we both were really learning and teaching each other things. And now to see it that it's going to live in an ongoing way is really exciting. So I'm looking forward to what happens next.
Me too.
All right.
It'll be fun. Yeah.
And I will be seeing you soon, Joy.
Yes. And thank you again all for joining us. And we hope to see you soon as well.
Yes. Thank you. Bye.